Alright, what's going on, guys? So we've got a Porsche Cayenne GTS here, and I've got the Challenger here. The film just showed up. It's over there right now on the floor. Literally, I've been waiting like 5 days extra for this film. So anyways, it's here. It's late. I'm gonna get this Challenger going and get some more videos going, but I wanted to talk to you about how we're going to price a vehicle wrap. Alright, so the way we're going to price a vehicle wrap is based off of, obviously, how many things do we have to wrap on the vehicle? Is the vehicle's paint close to the color that it's being wrapped, or is it the same, or is it close to being the same? Also, on top of that, darker canvases. So by that, what I mean is, the darker the paint underneath, usually the less work that you need to do to cover, make sure you have full coverage. All right, so if you have a black car like that, it's a little bit less work. If you have a white car like that and you're putting black over it, you got a lot of work. If you're putting white over this, it's less work. So let's just say this car is black and we want to wrap it white. It's going to be a lot easier to wrap this car in white from black than it is from white to black. So this car is actually just going gloss black, which is insane. It's going to be a lot of work, and I'm going to talk to you about how much work we're talking about here. So what you want to do is you want to break down, obviously, your experience level and how much time you're going to spend on the vehicle. So with a vehicle like this, we have a lot of detail work, right? So we have a lot of little bits. So let's talk about the front bumper, for example. The front bumper itself isn't all that bad. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It's very flat. We might want to take out the grills, but you don't even really have to, actually. It's actually pretty easy. And that's it, right? So front bumper is, I could probably wrap this front bumper in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But we also have this little section down here. And then when it comes to the bottom, check the bottom out. Look at that. That's nuts. This whole bottom piece right here is more work than the actual bumper itself. So that's one thing to consider. We gotta look at these things. All right, so when I quote customers and their vehicles, what I'm doing is I'm asking them, does it have a body kit, lip kit, spoiler, that kind of stuff, because these things matter. Also, make sure you get the trim level, because the trim level will matter. Volkswagens and things like that, they have trim that runs down the door. Some old Mercedes, things like that, have trim that runs down the door. That's all got to be wrapped if it's paint matched, all right? If it's black, you usually don't wrap it. So that's kind of like a rule of thumb. If it's black, you don't wrap it. Not usually, not unless it's paint matched black, obviously, then you're gonna wrap it. All right, let's go through the rest of this car right here. So one nice part, the mirrors don't need to be wrapped, all right? Cool, we just gotta wrap the base. Not that big of a deal, because these mirrors are actually already wrapped. Never mind. So I thought the mirror wasn't wrapped, but the mirror is already getting wrapped, and he's doing a good job right here. So I couldn't remember if the mirror had been wrapped or if it came black or came white. Let's talk about a couple more things down here. Okay, look at this. Look, we got little things like this. We got a section here. We have a little piece there. We've got this whole piece that runs around the wheel well. All right, lots of stuff, guys. Tons of stuff. Same thing for the door. We have it two pieces. We have an extra piece here, and then we have another piece here, and then we have an indentation right there. So we've got to make sure we lay into that really nicely, otherwise it's going to pop out. It's a lot of work. Luckily, with the doors, they've got a nice rubber seal, so we don't have to wrap in too far, just basically to the rubber seal. Nothing's going to show. Same thing with this door to that door, etc. Right? The roof has a roof rack. That had to come off, so that requires dropping the headliner. This is like a week's worth of work. Look at the spoiler, all right? We've got a spoiler, all painted on the top, two pieces. And then, obviously, we have to wrap the underside. Because if we don't wrap the underside, it's gonna show. And what gets a little bit tricky is getting the vinyl up in this indentation here. So if we leave it on, it's gonna be difficult. And getting this whole lip and everything else with no air in it, it's gonna be difficult. These things are not easy to do. Let's talk about the rear bumper. So the rear bumper sections, again, so many little sections. This is a lot of work, and it's no joke. Check out the rear again, right here. We've got a little rear diffuser, and this actually goes up, and it's all white in there, like it's nuts. So, good times, right? This is a lot of work. This is going to be probably on one of the highest sides for a color change and a basic color change. We're not even talking chrome, we're just talking like regular color. Again, so you can just kind of have a walk around. There's the roof rail still on there, all right, for this side. Luckily, that's black already, and that hasn't been wrapped, I know that. Again, covering a white car with a black film or a dark film is going to be a lot of work. The cars that are the most difficult to wrap are usually the lightest color. So or the brightest color. So when we're talking wrapping a vehicle, we're looking at like yellow, orange, red. Like if those are the canvases, or white, those are going to be really hard to cover. Red's hard to cover. It's one of the fun ones, unless you're going with like a satin red or a satin red chrome or a red chrome like over the red, then cool. When you open the doors, obviously, if you don't wrap the door jambs, you're going to see this drastic color change. So let's talk about the Challenger. So the Challenger, we've got a hood scoop. It wasn't too crazy. I did a video on that, how you got to wrap it. I've also done a video on the mirror, how to wrap it. Wasn't too bad. Probably I spent like 45 minutes. I'm going to tell you that Porsche over there, I'm going to spend at least 40 to 50 hours on, somewhere around there. Depends. With prep and stuff like that, it's going to be roughly somewhere around there. While this is going to be more like 20 tops, I would say. So the price of that wrap is going to be at least double this wrap on the Challenger. We've also got some really nice flat body panels on the Challenger. No side skirts, no extra little bits. There is a spoiler. We're actually leaving it black because it's going to be nice with the gloss black roof, which we're still doing stripes on. The rear bumper isn't too bad. We have an inlay in the back. There aren't many inlays on the Porsche, as opposed to there just being a lot of sections to wrap. So I don't think there's going to be many inlays at all, and you can just do everything in the sections because it has all the lines. Again, gas cap cover doesn't even need to be wrapped. Like a lot of things don't need to be wrapped, so we're taking all these things into consideration when we're quoting a vehicle. The door handles on this are not bad at all either. So let me flip the camera around. So when it comes to quoting a wrap, I'm just going to throw a number out there. Let's say 6,000 color change, all right? Let's say 3,000, and even with the stripes. So something like that, guys. It's just generally what you want to charge for your quality of work and how much time you're going to spend. You obviously want to make sure that you're getting paid for the time that you're spending on the vehicle, but you also want to make sure that no one's overpaying. And I mean, it could be worse than overpaying, but underpaying, because if you spend too much time on the car, it's going to end up costing you in the end, and you don't want that. When you're starting out, I understand. I made a lot of sacrifices when I started out. I charged really low, and as long as I was making like a decent dollar, I was pretty happy with that. So that's kind of just how you're going to go about quoting a car. You want to see pictures, and you want to know if it's a GTS, a GT, or just a regular one, because a regular one is nothing like this one. This one is nuts, and it has every little exterior option that there is. All right, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Take care.